You're now listening to the Something Good Podcast Network. Please press any key to continue.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Don't touch it!
Gary, let's go out there and make some people happy. And it's just like this decaying clown demon.
It's like, how you doing, Gary? I'm pretty good, Gary.
Oh, man.
All right, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Couch Brotatos. I'm Alex.
I'm Gary.
Hi, Gary. I'm Gary.
Have a good day, Gary. You too. Oh, God. Oh, it's Cap.
Morrison.
This week we're going to be diving into season 3 of King of the Hill, and I feel like we're in pretty good spirits. What did you say? This was your favorite season, or season 4 was your favorite, Chris?
This is one of the better seasons. Season 4 has my favorite episode in it. This is my favorite season, though.
Okay, got it.
Because it's just so fucking insane. Like, this is the dynamic of the characters in each one.
Mm-hmm. I was telling them before we started rolling, I've watched so many episodes in the past 2 weeks just because there are so many seasons of King of the Hill. Hopefully I won't have them like real blurred by the time I get to talking about them.
You'll be up there with me and Ken during the trivia game. That's what you need to be. You
I'll
get
be
up there
pulling from my memory banks going like, which part was this? Which part was this?
This is from book 3, episode 4, verse 9. John Redcorn said.
Well, what's going to happen is like I'm going to listen to all these and feel compelled to rewatch the season again.
Yeah, like I've watched season 3 times now just in the past week, just because I leave it on background noise while I clean my house. And stuff. And it's such a hilarious one, especially the beginning, the death of a propane salesman.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, so like to set the scene, Mega Lo Mart is gone. Okay, pick it up from like our last podcast. Mega Lo Mart is gone.
Yes.
As Buck Strickland said, "Way to go, Pyro!" thanks for bringing it back.
Up the Mega Lo Mart.
Whatever you see, honey.
Good job, honey.
Thanks. No, seriously, Hank. Thanks for getting us our jobs back. He's like, I'm not a terrorist.
But through that, Luann loses her hair.
Yeah, she does. Right. She freaks out. She goes full Sinead O'Connor though throughout the episode.
Yeah.
She's like, what's the point of life?
She's like, oh my God, Buckley, my hair. And they're like, the beauty school makes her like this raggedy ass rat wig.
Right.
Yeah. And then she starts taking pictures of Bobby in his underwear eating. She's like, this is a starving Irish child. Fight the occupation. It's like, oh God. I love Con though. Con's actually a little saving grace in this episode. He's like, I cry river of tear for Buckley. Why not you? Why not you? It's hilarious, man. He tells that what everyone considers a joke, but he cares. He basically tells a Buddhist proverb about enjoying life. And they're like, who the hell tells a joke at a funeral?
What's great about Khan is that his character can be like, even in his sweetest moments, just turns out to be he's still an asshole.
Yeah, he is, because he's manic depressive. God, no, man. He just came out of nowhere with that, and then you find out later that he really did like Buckley.
Yeah,
because he pissed off Hank.
Especially later on, like the trampoline episode.
It's still super sweet, but it's still like fucking like petty as hell towards somebody.
Buckley's ain't Joe.
I wonder why he liked Buckley so much.
Because he pissed off Hank.
It's that petty.
Yeah, I guess that would really be the only good
Con
motivation.
Is one of the most petty fucking people in the whole series.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely. And next up after that was They Call It Bobby Love. And the one thing that I always take away from this was the end scene at the steakhouse.
Oh yeah. All right. So how big was
that episode, right?
How big was the steak? I'll throw a question in every now and then.
Was this the one with
the older girl?
The vegetarian.
Yeah, where like Bobby gets his first kiss and falls in love and all that.
And it has to do with like she's dancing with another guy.
Yeah, he becomes heartbroke Bobby.
I thought we were together. I thought you. you're dancing with other guys.
And then they go to the restaurant and they have the a steak challenge where
Yeah,
if you eat it,
it was
you get
like-
it for free.
Was it? At least tell me this. Was it double digits?
Yes, it's double digits.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's a challenge. It's going to be double digits.
no.
It's in ounces.
I was just wanting to make sure
Yeah.
it wasn't like some outrageous like 100-ounce thing.
And then Hank's
Was it-
encouraging him,
Yeah.
saying that
Do it, Bobby. You
he's
got
like, do it,
this.
Bob. Say the thing about relationships is that it's all about winning.
I
to
keep
some extent.
Relationships are a game, and it's all about winning.
Exactly.
His terrible idea.
I keep teetering between 40 some odd and 70 some odd, so I'll cut it down and I'll say like 55 ounce.
No, it was a 76 ounce.
76.
It's fucking huge.
That's why I was like, that 7 kept popping in my head. I was just like,
Did he
Oh,
finish
God.
it? I can't remember.
oh yeah.
Oh, he finished it. He finished it. Now, keep in mind, this is about a 5-pound steak in ounces. Yeah, so 5 pounds of
Yeah,
rare.
Yeah, because I also want to remember he did the little fork flip at the very end
yeah.
and stabbed it and like stared her
right.
dead in the eye and was like,
What was her name?
She's Bobby's like, what now? And then the girl's just like,
Remember her name?
you remember her name?
I don't. But she was like,
I was gonna say I felt bad for not remembering because we actually said it on the last episode.
Yeah, but like it was one of the. It's actually a very intense episode because Bobby calls out Hank and Peggy. Mm-hmm. He's like, "I bet I have kissed my girlfriend Marie more than you guys have had in your entire that I've seen you in your entire relationship." And then Peggy loses it. She's like, "We have done things that you have no idea." And Hank's like, "What the fuck?"
I love the moments where it's implied that Hank and Peggy were like freaks before
They were. They
became
were.
parents.
They were double pack a day freaks. Fuck, man!
It's the best.
You got to think of mine, like timeline wise. They were married for like 10 years before Bobby was born.
Yeah.
That's right.
So like they had nothing to do but fuck around. Like Cotton says, at least you had the fun of trying, boy. Damn, I need to teach you that.
So,
Oh, the subplot of this one was the couch.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I like that because actually I didn't review this one because I actually have watched this season a lot. There's a lot of my favorite episodes in this one, but yeah, you're right. That was the couch
It was
subplot.
Khan's pissed couch.
Yes, but that was when the guys were getting it all set up.
Put
and
an
they put
awning
like
on
the
top of it.
awning on top and like cup holders.
Just a random couch in the fucking alley.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah.
They call it Bobby Love.
Then after that was Peggy's headache.
Hello, John Rickles.
That's right.
Hello, Peggy. And then, like 2 minutes later, well, John Redcorn, Peggy.
Yeah, because that was when Hank had to spell it out for Peggy.
Yeah, he's
because I
like,
think
yeah.
It took
Peggy
her a minute.
and
She's
Dale.
she's naive. Now, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say she's dumb, but she is naive about a lot of shit.
Yep.
But
Because basically,
which
her,
makes you kind of hate her more. Makes me hate
Especially
her more.
later on.
Yeah,
It's like,
because she's
damn
fucking
it.
stupid.
I was gonna say your son connected the dots. It's like literally
Yeah.
her and Dale are the only people left on the block
Yep.
that
And then
haven't connected
Dale-
the dots.
And then even her trying to hint at Dale, he just thinks, Hank, your wife's wanting to have an affair with me. He's like, no, she doesn't, but I appreciate you telling me.
And then John Redcorn's giving Peggy treatments, and Hank's getting all jealous about it
Oh,
because
Hank confronts that motherfucker
Yes.
at
Yeah.
his house.
So-
that's the
you're
one
getting-
you were talking about where he swells
Oh,
up
dude,
on him.
He pulls his hair back. He uses his left hand to pull his hair back, and then you see that fucking bicep.
Yeah.
That John Redcorn fucking everyday John Redcorn, because you know he's fucking built like a shit. And my favorite line of his is like,
Yep.
Hank, I would not heal your wife like I do the wives of others. It's like, oh, he's fucking a lot of women. He's just throwing it at Nancy like 3 days a week. The other 4 days a week,
and
he's throwing
Hank's
it at
like
someone
trying
else.
to puff his
In front
chest
of
out at
everybody.
him and
Oh yeah,
everything.
he's like, because if you did, I'll kick your ass. And he puffs his chest, and then the wind blows.
it's wild how often John Redcorn and Nancy are just doing it in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But anytime, but the best part is I want to go back through. I need to watch the whole season, the whole series. I want to make a John Redcorn playlist of
All the songs he
because
listens to.
Bad Company, Foreigner, Loverboy, Meatloaf. That's all classic.
Just
Because I caught it when she went to go talk to Nancy, and this Paradise by the Dashboard Lights is like blaring through the fucking door.
it's
like,
just redneck yacht rock.
yeah, fucking Meatloaf, man. I love Meatloaf. And,
I do too.
And like it's just blasted through the door, rolling like a man. And it's like, holy shit, he's listening to a fucking song. He's like, that's hilarious. Because when you first meet John Redcorn in the first season, I had to go back and watch it. It's Hot-Blooded by Foreigner.
Yep. That's why I always
And it's all fucking
associate that with
songs
him.
of like Feel Like Making Love from Bad Company.
Oh yeah.
Oh, God. Ready for Love. Anything from Bad Company, the album Bad Company, by the album Bad Company.
And the next one they actually tackled I thought pretty smartly it was pregnant pause. They kind of tackled Hank's infidelity with Peggy wanting to get pregnant again.
Well, yeah, but
tying it in with Lady Bird.
Yeah, well, that's when Hank meets a pair of brothers.
Uh-huh.
They're not brothers. They're gays. And he's like, well, I met these two guys at the park, and we went to the bar and talked, and before it went to hell, before everything went horribly wrong, they told me about how to get Lady Bird pregnant. Because remember, she's almost she's got the same problem Hank does.
Yeah, but lady version.
Yeah, but the dog version. And fucking Buck Strickland. He's like, God damn, my dog get the howdy ma'am the debutante. Because he's so Southern Texas.
Oh, yes.
And it's just like he should be in the show Dallas or some shit. Like he's a piece of shit. Like
just white trash with money.
White trash with money. And he's like, he charges like $500.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Well, it's that purebred shit, man. Because Mom,
Yep.
she kind of dived into that for a little bit. We had some purebred Maltese.
Yeah.
And, dude, just getting the certifications on those fuckers from the AKC and whatnot, it is expensive as fuck. And people shell out money for those little shits.
I used to know the breeder that would do raise the mascots for our UT football games, the hound dogs that run on the field and everything, and that's a pretty wild world.
Oh, yeah.
But like, Peggy gets like really uber jealous over Hank's ability to go above and beyond for this dog. Why? Because he wants puppies, not because he wants puppies for another reason.
Yeah.
He wants puppies so him and Peggy will get relaxed enough and they can have another kid, which freaks out Bobby. In the next episode, it freaks out Bobby in the next episode.
Yeah. Next one, that was next to Shin.
No, fucking Cotton. He's like, congratulations on Dale. Fucking Dale. Hello, Colonel. Congratulations on impregnating Hank's stepmom.
Yeah, because
What the fuck?
Because Cotton gets Dee Dee pregnant. Which
like,
again costs us the second rift in the Hill House.
And this is the beginning of the mental decline in Peggy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a very Peggy hateful episode. Yeah. But Cotton's in it, so I understand. Fucking Cotton hates Peggy, and Peggy hates Cotton.
But Peggy gets so worked up over Dee Dee getting pregnant.
Oh, yeah, she loses it. And remember they go to the, he has a fucking World War II flashback at the baby place. He thinks all the babies are like Tojo fucking soldiers.
Yeah, they're like crawling out of the fucking cribs.
He sees the two babies in the stroller. He thinks it's like a Japan man's fucking tank or some shit.
They're like
and then he
launching
sees one,
grenades at him
one
and
in like a
shit.
bouncer, and like he thinks it's parachuting down on the beaches of Iwo Jima. Like, Jesus. He's like, oh, fuck. Then he just realized, oh, like Cotton Hill has terrible PTSD.
Yeah, and it led up to an interesting moment because wasn't that the one where he ran off?
He went to Vegas.
Yeah, he ran to Vegas
and saw the Andrews sisters.
Andrews sisters, yeah.
I say that with quotation marks if you can't see it.
But because
sisters.
because even Hanky was like, if my dad's gonna be anywhere, it'll be there. It's the Andrews sisters.
He's like, wow, they're still going. Shit. Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, that little firecracker grabbed my rear till he found out I wasn't a real sister.
He's like, whoa. Another prudish thing from Hank.
I know. And but they actually got to share kind of a moment because Cotton on the flip side got to go, I'm scared, Hank.
Yeah. He's like, I made you. You made Bobby. Bobby's a great kid. He loves Bobby.
Yeah.
Because Bobby is just a rendition of Cotton Hill.
Yep.
And granted, he's not a violent sociopath.
Which is wild because when you see Bobby and Cotton together, they do
just
look
like
very
younger
similar.
and older versions of each other.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And even with the shins going. No, he's like, that's when Hank has that fucking thing. He's like, well, we're trying. He's like, we can't do it. He's like, at least you had the fun in trying, boy. Damn. Like,
Enjoy the process.
I got to tell you about that. Like, I got to teach you that shit.
It's like, you'd be happy you have that narrow
You got a great boy. You know, he's trying to it's the only thing Cotton Hill, I think, in the whole series tries to be uplifting to Hank about.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I can't think of another time Hanks was like getting uplifted by Cotton Hill in any way.
Because even on
his deathbed, he's just like,
Fuck
you
you.
love me. I don't want a son who loves me. And then, well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's hilarious.
But no, and even kind of what you're saying, I think that's the only time he kind of showed trying to make a connection or compassion with Hank. Because even in that house episode with Jimmy Carter, when Hank tries reasoning with him, all he does is, do I get to shoot Jimmy's car?
Yeah.
It's like he did not try to be like, oh, thanks, for talking with me. Or,
That's what
you're Hank, right?
That's when Jimmy Carter says. He's like, look, I've been in bad, I've worked out deals with Egypt and Israel. Okay, and your dad's the worst motherfucker I've ever met in my life. I hope your daddy dies. Like, thanks, Jimmy Carter.
Well, in the Vegas episode too, that ends with them just hanging out in Vegas too, like hanging his dad.
Well, they hang out for about 5 minutes because they go to the roulette. He's like, he says, ate the hard way.
That's right.
And it's just like 12. And it's just like,
He's like, come on, Dad.
He just immediately gets kicked out.
Yep. After that, Peggy's pageant fever.
I don't like this episode.
It's
where she thinks she can be a pageant winner.
Yeah, because
they did Con Strickland in this episode because he's like it's gonna be Luann. He's like, god damn it, $2,000 in.
Wasn't this the one where Peggy gets wrapped in with the drag queens?
No, this is the one where she's a pageant. They're doing a pageant. She wants to get a truck.
Right.
This white pickup truck that she can win. And it's an amateur pageant for moms.
That's right, yeah.
And just was it like a spite thing towards Hank as far as like getting a truck or whatever?
Well, not really. But it's one of the best lines Hank has, I think. She's like, Hank, do you think I could win a pageant, a beauty pageant? And he's like, and he's about to go to bed. And he's like, first of all, this question is rigged against me. He's like, there's no good way to answer that fucking question, you bitch. Don't put me in a trap. I swear to God, don't put me in a trap. But it's all about she wants to prove that a mom can be pretty. The problem is she thinks she's the prettiest mom in this situation, but she meets all these women.
Yeah.
And one woman had like 8 kids, was a fucking hiker, was a stay-at-home mom.
I remember that.
Gorgeous as hell. Looked like Luann.
Basically Heidi Klum.
Yeah. Fucking and one was a teacher, an actual teacher at a college. And she's like, oh.
Again, this is where Peggy's ego is just getting out of control.
Yeah, because that's when she gets knocked down a peg.
No pun intended.
Yeah, honestly, that one is a forgettable one for me, but it follows by probably one of my favorites.
I love this episode.
One of my favorites in the season. 9 Pretty Darn Angry Men.
Let's make fun of it's a 2-part story, but it's the B story is really low in this one. It's basically Peggy falls asleep in a shoe store. And it's about Hank's mom.
Yeah,
but
the main plot.
This main plot is almost a shot for shot for 12 Angry Men, the movie. If you get a chance to watch that movie,
and I never saw the
watch
movie.
The black and white one. The color one sucks.
Which is better, the black and white movie or this episode of King of the Hill?
In my top 5 movies, 12 Angry Men is in there.
Really?
I'm no shit. It's such a really well done movie.
Yeah.
If you guys get a chance to watch that movie, fucking watch it.
All right.
It's set in one room.
Okay.
The jury room.
Yeah.
Everyone has their prejudices.
I've seen clips of it. Yeah.
But like it's just Peter Fonda, I think. It's Peter Fonda. Yeah, or Peter Henry Fonda, one of them, is just cracking people open.
They do the same thing in the movie, the way they do in the episode, where it's like everybody's perspective.
Yeah, everyone's getting broken down. But this one, instead of a poor like Hispanic kid about to go to jail and get the chair, it's a lawnmower.
Yeah. and is how the lawnmower should be done. And Hank is not settling for no bullshit in this episode.
He's like, that's my mower. And he goes to say, he's like, the Mason 50, and the guy's like, the Mason 2500. Yep. And it's like, God damn. He's like, I love this mower. Why do you love it? I love it because Hank can't afford it.
Yeah, I do love that because eventually Hank did get his point across.
He did. He's like, because he's like, look, everybody's getting paid $50. He's like, I will put up my $50 against all of you, and there's 7 of them. There's 7 other ones, because you forget to count the moderators 9. But and Dale's like, that comes out to almost $7 a piece. He's like, fine, talk your bullshit. And he breaks them down like a shotgun, man. He's like, hey, Dale. Oh shit! Is it the man coming to get us?
It's the cops.
They don't like our rhetoric.
Alice, fire truck.
Arlen Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Anyway, he breaks it down one by one. Reverend Hubert.
Yep.
Just because someone dies of a little drowning doesn't mean I'm not like a. He drowned a kid. He fucking killed a kid in the baptism. But like he breaks him down. Lane Prattley. Prattler Honda.
Yep.
Going to be Prattley Ford. My daddy ain't doing so good. Con. He gets con by showing him that fucking zero turn radius doesn't work.
Yep.
And
by having Bill sit on it.
Bill, he gets Reverend he gets Reverend Hubert on the mower. Oh, and he's like, Reverend Hubert, go down here, go down 25 feet and activate the zero turning radius. And he goes and turns it, and bam, there goes the cup holder. Yep. And that's Bill.
Yep.
He breaks down Boomhauer. He's like, which this is kind of a fallacy of it because he's like, it has a cup holder.
Yeah.
But he's like, hey, Boomhauer, where do you put your beer? Between your legs. Between his legs. On a heated seat. He's like, dang on warm beer, man. No, man, that's like some French bullshit, man. But no, he just breaks them down one by one. But the last one is Cotton Hill.
Yep.
He's like, and first line out of Cotton's mouth was, hey, Reverend, if you're still in the baptizing business, won't you drown my boy? And it's like, God damn. Because Reverend Hubert's like, I'm not a man of God anymore, but your daddy's going to hell. Yep. But it's such a good episode because he finally defends his mama.
Yeah.
And it's so good. And I love it. I love that episode so much just because of that.
Definitely.
That's gonna be one of those where I'm gonna go back and rewatch now.
He says some of the most horrible shit to his ex-wife, Hank's mama. He's like, oh, you want to trade her in like you traded mom? He's like, I didn't trade her in. You trade in with ass and value. I scrapped her. And it's like, God damn it.
Yeah, he is just a cold asshole.
But they can be like the sweet moments are very sweet, but the brutal ones are fucking brutal on the show.
I know it's a B-list part, but Luann taking Bobby to the skating rink.
Yes.
And they hear Luann's like, she falls, and she's like, oh, this is me and Buckley's song. You remember what the song was?
I forget what it was. It was something 90s, wasn't it?
I don't.
Gary fucking Glitter, hey-oh, rock and roll.
Oh yeah, because of during the fantasy, it's like hey.
And this one actually had Billy Bob Thornton in it.
Yeah, he's Reverend. He was the Reverend.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of fucking good.
I'm gonna rewatch that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. Voice actors in these episodes.
And this next one, kind of middle of the road for me. The Good Hill Hunting. That's
this is a hunt episode. This is hilarious because this is when Bobby has that talking with Joseph at the very beginning. He's like, "What do you think it's going to be like?" And Bobby's like, "I know."
This is like their coming of age kind of deal.
Bobby's like, "I know exactly what's going to fucking happen." Him and his dad. He's going to go in the woods, and he's going to call the son of man. His dad's going to trip on a rock. Hank's going to get hurt, and Bobby has to hoist Hank up on one shoulder with one hand with a rifle with a scope, peer down a deer, and the deer gives him this, like, looks at him and nods. And then, no, he shoots the deer, and the deer goes down, just lays down on the side, and is like, okay.
Yep.
He's like, I respect you, Bobby Hill. Now kill me.
He's just like, I got you, bruh.
I got you, bro. And it's just like, what a weird ass fucking fantasy.
I know.
He's like, son, you are now a man.
But Joseph and everybody else was able to go out, but Bobby couldn't, and I forget why.
Because Hank is scared of Bobby.
Well,
and forgot to get a fucking hunting license.
Yep.
He's like, she's like, why did you not get a hunting license? The boy's weird, okay? Like he kind of scares the shit out of me.
Because they already did the one episode where they were like having the
father son shoot
target contest.
where like Bobby was just out shooting Hank by everything.
Yeah, but Bobby's a natural killer.
Yeah, but it wound up actually. Now that I'm
Right.
thinking on it, it still wrapped up pretty nice though, because even though he got the shooting in the barrel experience, he wound up hitting Hank was like, that wasn't right.
They went to one of those Ted Nugent farms.
Yeah, they went to La Grunta.
Yeah.
But they go to those, like, even Hank makes it. He's like, what? That's like shooting fish in a barrel. He's like, and the other guy's like, oh, they got that too. It's like, God damn it. Fucking lazy ass resorts and shit. But it goes. That's what Joseph saves Dale's life, because Dale's actually scared of deer. Is terrified of deer.
My boy.
That's my boy. He's like, Dad, watch out. And he flipped.
And I had like
because Dale throws his gun in the air like an idiot.
Yeah.
Throws a loaded rifle in the air, spins. Joseph does like a barrel roll.
Right.
And fucking catches it and goes, pop, pop.
Like it's a goddamn action movie.
Yeah, and because that's Joseph extremely athletic. Yeah. He's Arlen's native son. as he likes to say.
And following after that one was the second Christmas episode, Pretty Dresses.
Oh, I hate this.
It is cringy.
It is cringy because it's Bill.
Yeah.
I love the beginning, though. It's like, yep, mm-hmm.
Oh,
it's Bill just crying, like falling his out.
Is this the Lenore?
Yeah, where he like has that mental breakdown because the girl was, I think that was, no, this, let's see. Oh, yeah, this is when he becomes depressed more than usual, and he keeps threatening to commit suicide, and everyone has to keep watching his ass.
Yeah,
Right.
then he gets an iguana and shit.
And then, and then at the end of it, Hank tries to dumb down himself to appease Bill or whatever, because Bill shows up in a dress.
Yeah,
or
he's
something
having like a
that,
mental
right?
breakdown.
Hank tries to save it. He's like, "Oh, look, it's that kind of party." Woo,
That's
right.
Dale's like, "I didn't get that in my invitation," and then it foreshadows to him chasing Bill back to his house, and there comes Dale in a dress around the corner. He's like, "Eat." He's like, "Oh, this is terrible."
I do that. Yeah, he was totally offended. He's like, I didn't know it was going to be that kind of party.
He has a mental breakdown because of Hank.
Yeah.
He does. He has a mental breakdown. He's like, Lenore doesn't want this bullshit. She doesn't want this. She doesn't want this. She left you. Fucking man up.
Yeah.
Okay? And he's like, just dead-eyed. And he's like, okay. Okay, Hank. And then, next morning, Peggy's like, is he okay? He said he was. And then he has a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
I'm
But
totally
Hank has to
fine,
do it
Hank.
again because he sees Hank in the dress.
Hi, Hank.
And he's like, I'm Lenore. I don't want you. I don't want to be with you. Blah, blah, blah. Because he's pretending to be Lenore to get him out of his funk.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, let me tell you something. He gets some pride in him. Like he's arguing with Hank. He's like, I am William Fontaine de la Tordo Tree.
Yep.
And you will not disrespect me.
What a weird episode.
It is. It is. It is. Because Buck Strickland fucking is an ass in that one, too.
Yeah, even though I love the Angry Old Men episode, this one is my number one, though. A firefighting we go.
This is Ken Osborne's favorite episode.
It is
one of
my
mine, too.
number one. There are so many good moments
Biggie
in
bye,
that.
Biggie bo, bo, bye, bye.
B-I, Bicky, bye, B-I, bo, Bicky, bye, bo.
Yeah, but I love just the very end of it. I don't, like they're at the fire station, they're
Yep.
volunteering, and you get to see how everybody looks at everybody else.
Yes.
Dale
Best
Dale
moments.
is built like a brick shit house, like John Ray
Yes.
Corn has long hair, and Hank's like a drill sergeant in his eyes. Mm-hmm. But Bill is big and strong in his episode.
No, Bill sees himself as worse.
Is he?
Yeah, Bill sees himself
Wait.
with no hair.
Yeah, but he's built like he's very built, like he's still in the army, like that army mentality.
Because that's the only thing Bill has to hang on to is his.
I was going to say, I was pretty sure, because I remember that being one of my favorite moments. I'm pretty sure he saw himself, because remember, they were talking about what happened right before.
yeah, they're giving their testimony.
Yeah, Hank
How they
saw
burned down
everyone
the
as
fire station.
kids.
Yeah. Boomhauer, everyone speaks like Boomhauer except
For
him.
Boomhauer.
Yes.
And then
He's the only normal
Well,
one.
no, go back. Like I'm saying, like
yeah, but Bill, he saw his was he was talking about heating up the pizza in the oven.
Yeah.
He had
bald.
no hair.
Yeah.
But he also was fatter because he was talking about
Well, no,
I
he-
do love pizza.
If I remember correctly, I don't know. We can go back and watch
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But I'm pretty sure he's built like not like a bodybuilder, but like a strong man.
Yeah.
Like
I think in those
because he's built like an army guy,
Right.
Not
Right.
not like some bodybuilder, but I'm talking about built like a weightlifter.
Right.
Right.
He may look fatter, but like if you look at his arms and shoulders, they're very broad and shit.
Oh yeah, totally.
But yeah,
But
that
I-
is
they-
interesting that he like sees himself as the I like pizza
yeah.
person.
And they fucking they bury Chet Elderson, and they pants him.
But my favorite moment of that fucking episode though was the ping pong ball.
Oh yeah, ting 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 ting. Are you still playing with that broken ping pong ball?
and then when Bill gets trapped in the fire pole, he's like, "I got bad news, folks. Chet
Chet
Elderson died, natural causes. Oh,
did
such
they
a
tell-
shame,
and then
such a shame."
Yeah.
And Bill is right above them,
But
just fucking
remember, at the,
rips
end at the end
ass.
of their tennis, just to wrap it up. At the end of their testimony,
Yeah,
Hank and Dale are like, "Oh
Yeah.
wait,
Dale's about to buckle.
yeah, because he's got a spine of a jellyfish." And, but anyway, Hank's like, "It was that sign. It
Yeah.
was Chet's sign." That he's like, "Oh man, we did tell him." And Boomhauer at the very end, he's like, "Dale, you lying, man. Chet didn't do nothing, man. Chet, how dare you talk about a dead man, man?"
yeah. And the guy's like, "All right, well, if all you were corroborating the same story that Chet plugged to death," Boomhauer's like, "Oh man, what the?" Gets up all
Shut
disgruntled
up!
and
You're
shit.
gonna be charged with federal crime.
Yeah,
Burning down a fire station.
And old Spanky to spank with love.
Oh, this is when you. Another question. What was Hank's principal's name in this? They say it one time.
Oh, one time. I have no idea if they said it one time.
Jeter the Beater.
Oh God, yes.
I
Principal
forgot about
Jeter.
that.
Principal Jeter the Beater, and he had the old Spanky. Had holes drilled in it for aerodynamic. I remember having one when I was in school with my principal.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask, did y'all have
I got mine.
beatings
Oh,
and
yeah,
spanking in school?
We had paddles and shit
Yeah.
like that, and I got in trouble a couple times.
Did they ever do that thing where they called your parents in and they whooped your ass too?
No, I never got that bad.
I got that beaten. I
was gonna
on
say-
a lie.
Man, I never got
My dad was fucking furious after
got-
he found out it was a lie.
So my dad had a paddle. Like I had whippings from my dad, but it
my
was
dad
like
had a
all
belt.
like separate shit. I was being that. It was like being like making him mad at home and shit like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. But no, man, I had a teacher lie about something I did, and literally just blatant lie,
Like
about it.
straight up,
straight up. Even like other kids were like, "That's not true." Like we were in 5th grade.
Yeah.
And my principal called me. I got torn off the bus. I got taken off the bus.
I remember that.
And I took an ass whooping from the principal. He called my dad in. My dad whooped my ass, and then he whooped my ass at home because he had to get off work to pick my ass up.
Yeah.
Which if your dad had to get off work.
Oh yeah, he was going to make it worth his
probably-
while.
Moms maybe not so much because they tend to be more carried.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, my best friend, his mom was my sister's babysitter. He's like, look, this is what, David, this is what happened, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
My dad came tearing through that fucking school, busting. Let me tell you something, God damn it. Yes.
Sweet revenge.
So is this
Break 'em down.
So is this the one where Peggy's trying to
Yes,
do the
Peggy.
discipline? That's right.
Yeah.
She gets advice from Cotton. Mm-hmm. She gets
It's the one time the two of them have ever really connected.
Because at the VA, Principal Turbeville, the other principal, had the paddle.
Right.
First.
He had the paddle, and he's like, Peggy, I want you to meet the school board.
Yep.
School board.
And they're like, did that really work? He's like, yes, because she got pantsed in class. And she starts whooping them in class, and then she gets that paddle.
Yeah.
And then there was that whole campaign.
Yeah,
of
and it was
paddling Peggy Hill.
Yeah, it was that your mom's a substitute.
I was
that
about,
guy.
I was about
Yeah.
to say what his
Urban-
line
He
was.
kept fucking pushing her and pushing her. Eventually, she just grabbed him by the scruff of his neck,
And she
bent
was
her
getting
over her
reviewed that
fucking
day,
knee,
too.
and just went at it.
Oh my god, I hated when they had reviews come in from school, and like the teacher would all act like all prim and proper. Bitch, the other day, like I had a teacher from North Ireland in middle school. She had a fucking monitor come in there one time, and she was like, "Well, this is this. I'm like, "Hey, can you tell us about like that time the Germans fired chemical weapons?" And she's like, like she was describing like chemical weapons attacks because it's North Ireland. Like she described what a car bomb is, and the moderator's like, "What did he say?" It's like, "Oh, nothing."
Don't worry about him.
Oh yeah. But by the way, she told us what a terrorist attack really is. We're in 6th grade, and the moderator's just cringing.
They got questions already.
Damn it!
Yeah. So eventually, she winds up getting kicked from it, but like all
Well, she threatens Joseph in the alley.
and it scares
And
him.
it turned out fucking Dale fucked the paddle up.
Yeah.
He's like, "Man, Hank, get your wife. She's crazy."
Yeah, he puts it through the wood chipper.
Yeah.
Yeah, with like a bandana over its eyes. He treats it like it's a real fucking person.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
he
that was
like,
a puppet.
and
That
then,
was a puppet.
Oh, that was a puppet, and he chloroforms himself. Sorry, I forgot about that.
So you can forget about it.
Yeah, 3 coaches and a Bobby.
Oh, this was full. Will Ferrell's in this episode. He plays the soccer coach.
Yes.
Because I think at that time he did Kicking and Screaming. It was where he played a soccer coach.
Yeah, I remember that. And
But,
fucking Mike Ditka is the coach in that one.
Yeah. Fucking. They get Hank's old high school coach. Fuck, what is it? Sour Coach Sours.
Yes, Sour Coach Sours.
And that's when Hank's like, yeah, I remember we made that name up at Christian Fellowship Camp. Yeah. We were good boys, though. It's like, what the fuck, Hank?
Yeah,
in real life, people call their coaches assholes.
But the thing is like, he called him in to whip the kids into shape, but it's like, dude was fucking like watering down the fucking field and making them
run.
fucking, yeah, it's just like
Eat
hardcore.
Mud. Eat mud.
But I don't want to eat the mud.
Eat mud. He's like, run a mile. Take a salt tablet. He's like, I'm hurt. Take a salt tablet.
Yep, take a salt
Hey,
tablet.
Butterball, what's wrong?
My feet hurt. Take a salt tablet.
He tells Joseph to take a helmet and run into that brick wall. He's
Yes.
like, and what? And get headaches like my mom? Oh, man, that's funny. But they joined the other team, the Wind. Remember he's handing out playbooks. It's like, memorize it. It was like a fucking 4-inch thick binder of just hardcore football plays, each one broken down. Oh my god, it's so fucked up. Even Hank, he talks shit to Hank a little bit, and that's when Hank like knocks him out in his fucking Cadillac where he's chasing kids down on the football field.
Yep.
I have to rewatch this one. I don't remember a whole lot of this.
Yeah, he gets. Oh man, it's fucking because it's all because it's Dale's fault.
Yeah.
All this is Dale's fault. This whole episode because he's like,
It's always Dale's fault.
he's like, hey, Coach Maxwell, you suck, and he's like, well, you know what? I haven't been paid for the last 3 weeks, and you know what, guys? You can go to hell. And Hank's like, Dale, what happened to the money we collected for the coach? I bought a hat, God damn it.
And actually, the next one, kind of like with Cap, I don't remember this one quite as well. The deconstructing Henry,
Yeah, this is
where Hank accidentally gets
this is where-
fired.
This is the golf club episode.
Oh, okay. Yep, I remember now. That's all it took to remember that one.
This is where like Min tries to like seduce Hank.
Yeah, I do remember that one now.
Because
Yeah.
Bill loses his shit because there's a scene where Hank is mowing his lawn and Khan's lawn.
Yep.
At the same time, and they're like trying to one up each other. Like Peggy makes cookies, she makes like brownies. She gives Peggy gives Hank a lemonade.
Yeah.
Fucking Min pulls out an ice cold mug and pours
Yeah.
beer in it.
Yep.
And
Bill,
Bill's
Hank a hill.
and Bill's just sitting there like, what? It ain't fair. Some of us are out here with no women. He's got two. And then Dale about gets Dale does his classic move. He says something behind Hank's back, and within earshot of Hank, like a jackass, he's like, polygamous, and he's like, what did you say? Get and hops the fence.
Hops the fence.
That's what he does. He just hops the fucking fence.
Hank is like the closet like Mac of the whole group.
He is. Just fucking.
But doesn't know it and does nothing with it,
No,
as
it's
he
like
should.
he should. He's not aware of
But no,
it
this is
at all.
a very Khan hateful episode because
Yep.
Khan takes him all the way to his work to show some new polymer ceramic golf
Yeah,
club.
it gives
that
him.
they're
He's
making.
like, sweet,
400 fucking yards.
sweet
Like a
Jesus,
400 yard strike.
Yeah.
Just barely hitting it.
Basically, in that aircraft carrier, essentially.
Yeah, and he shows him. He's like, look how badass this fucking ball goes. And he tells Bill. Bill brings it up during the fucking barber shop, and he can't get unemployment. And the guy at the unemployment office is like, it says here your old job is reputing your unemployment for a reason, treason. And then right after him is Dale. Rusty Shackelford. Oh, hello, Mr. Shackelford. Here's your check. Rusty Shackelford's been applying for unemployment for like forever and a day.
Another one of my favorites, The Wedding of Bobby Hill.
Oh, man, this is so good.
I love this one because it's a Luann and Bobby centric episode, and usually they get the B lines or the B stories.
right.
They get the central
Kind
episode
of like that
this
episode
time.
where they had to clean the house.
Clean the house.
Yeah, that's one first one I thought
the
of.
porno episode where they think Bobby's getting a birthday party.
Yeah.
But this time the two of them get a
They're
main
just
episode.
doing a hardcore
pranks on each other, and it is so
He
fucking
put
funny.
mud. She put mud in his fruit pie.
You
then
don't mess with a man's fruit pie.
And then she tells Peggy like, "Hey, he fucked with my birth control." He's like, "That's what you get. You don't fuck with his you fucked with his fruit pies. What do you think was going to happen?"
Yeah, exactly.
Like, she's justifying like this bullshit. Of like, oh,
What
you
I love
cunt.
though is, of all things, because I was a little prankster as a kid too.
Yeah.
Of all things that I'm sitting here going, this is dumb, is when Bobby took the label off her hairspray and put it on the air blower, and she did it like 3 or 4 fucking times, and I'm like, girl.
She said, well, she's like very stressed out at that time because
Yeah.
he's been pranking her the whole day. And then they use Bill
As the ordained minister.
as the ordained minister, or as the minister.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then they Bobby thinks it's all real, and then they tell Luann, he's like, "Oh, Bill's an actual minister. So you guys are actually married."
Yeah,
and then she freaks out.
Well, because what led up to that was even though Peggy was like, well, you did mess with the boys' fruit pies. You don't mess with that. But he did take it a little far by messing with your birth control, so I'll help you with this one.
I love Bobby freaking out. She's like, I have to take them, blah, blah, blah. He's like, can't you just take a whole bunch now? And what? Destroy my fucking body? Or like destroy my uterus?
That's not how it works.
No, that's not how it works.
Yeah, so Bobby's thinking it's all real. Luann thinks it's the prank, and then then it's the double turn, like what you're getting at. Hank and Peggy turn around and turn to Luann. And he's like, "Well, we just found out Bill is an ordained minister."
Yeah. And then Bill has a breakdown later on. He's like, it's not true. It's not true at all. And Dale doesn't really play piano.
Yeah, and he's just like faking it. And
Bill's just losing his shit this whole season too, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a very Bill-centric season.
But another nice wrap up where it's the two of them sitting at the table, and she's like, "You want some milk?" And he's like, "I do."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, I wouldn't open your hamper fast if you don't like snakes." And like,
Yeah, they all tell her a bunch of shit.
And then the very last one, she goes, "Oh, and you might want to stop drinking that milk."
Yeah, that's how it ends.
After that, we've got the sleight of Hank.
The magician.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Hank just has no respect
All right,
for
so-
entertainers.
No,
No,
he
it's
hates
any-
magicians.
Well, it's also anything that's getting something over on him. He likes to
he doesn't like to be
know
tricked.
and understand everything
'cause
that
the-
happens. He's a very mechanical man.
Yeah,
he
The
likes
Chris Rock character he had a problem with too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes knowing engines. He'll break down an engine and put it back together.
Yeah, but he's a
He
Dutch-
doesn't know what makes this trick work, and it fucks with him
He
bad.
locked Peggy. He fucking locked Peggy in a plywood box. He's like, "Can I have the?" He fucks with her.
Yeah.
He tricks
Yeah.
her to get in the box, and he's like,
It's like, all right, what's the trick? Tell
And he
me
sits
how
in
the
a
trick goes.
He's sitting down. And he's like, look at what does that look like? He used to smoke cigarettes.
Yep.
He's like all night in the garage trying to figure it out.
Yep, he's got a beer sitting next to
And
him.
it
a
all
little-
started because of fucking clouds on Bobby's wall.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I remember this shit,
fucking
man.
clouds.
Yeah,
Like fucking Toy Story or some shit.
Yeah, trying to paint the walls, and he's like, "Do we really want our son's first paint job to look all shitty?"
Basically.
Clouds. He's like, "You can go outside and look at clouds." He's like, "Not at night." And Peg's like, "That's right, not at night. The only thing he sees out his window at night is Bill crying into his food."
And that's the one where Bobby tries
Again.
tying the two of them together because
Yeah, he tells Peggy, he's like, "Hey, look, Dad put the clouds back." And like they get in there, "You did this to make me tell you the trick. I did not do this." And he's like, "This looks like shit."
and Bobby actually has a real moment near the end where he's actually legit worried that the two
'cause
of
he
them
thinks
are
they're
going to
gonna
break
get divorced.
up. Yeah, because it was getting
And
heated.
then what happens?
Yeah.
They kick each other.
Yeah,
start
they
whooping
kick
ass.
each other in the shins.
Yeah.
I think Hank did it first. He got annoyed and like kicked at her, and he made contact, and she's like, "Ah!" And then
she
hauled off into
bam with that size 16 shoe.
Yep. And then the two of them are just hunkered over, and they look at each other and start laughing.
Laughing.
And then fuck.
And this episode at the very end, where Bobby's explaining the trick. There used to be a show on Fox.
Yes.
They used to do
The
how they
Masked
do
Magician.
it. How they do it. The masked magician, how they do it. And Bobby at the you know how Bobby at the end's wearing a weird mask?
Yeah.
That's the same mask that
Yep.
dude wore in the show where he showed how
Okay.
magic tricks were done. That dude pissed off a lot of motherfuckers.
But guess what? I loved that show when it
Oh
was
yeah, he
on.
told how to shoot, how they do the shotgun arrow trick.
Yes.
Oh my god, that was a heart wrenching one because he would take an arrow, put it in like a single barrel 12 gauge.
Mm-hmm.
They put a fucking shell behind it, and then cock it, and then point it at this bitch down range, and shoot it. And like the arrow would just show up beside her head.
Yeah.
Even though he's firing an arrow through a gun, but it's not really. It's magic. But,
Right.
But it's hilarious.
The way that it's broke down.
Yeah, the way he breaks it down. But Bobby does the same thing.
Shows how the trick's done. At the very end, lifts the mask. He's like, "But don't tell my dad."
Yeah, don't tell my dad.
Yeah, because at the end of the episode, Hank still never
Why
found out how it
why
worked.
does Hank hate magic?
I think, like I said, I think it's because
No,
he
he
just
said,
has no
they
control
say
over it.
why. Dale says why Hank hates magic.
Why?
Ever since David Copperfield made the Statue of Liberty disappear, and shame on him.
And shame on him.
And dude, you know the history behind that? It is so fucked up. That's one of the terror smoke and mirrors actually comes from.
Yeah.
So the way it actually worked was giant ass mirrors.
Yeah.
People make it sound like it was a bit huge ass phenomenon with all these people watching. It was promoted very small. Only a handful of people showed up, and it was where they were standing. He had them stand at a certain spot, and they had like a big ass fucking mirrors right in their range of view, sitting in the ocean next, like, where perspective would land to where it completely blocked it out to where from where they were standing, it looked like it had completely disappeared.
And this was a long time ago before everything could get
This is
out.
like the early
Yeah,
way,
it does.
like the mid '90s.
Yeah, and it's so fucking
before
weird.
fucking Chris Angel and all them other guys.
Okay, so it was like the mid '90s. You said.
Yeah, before it became like a body horror show.
I was gonna say, yeah, I want to say midnight. Actually, maybe even like late '80s. It was. It was
David
like.
Copperfield was big for a long time.
Yeah, it was.
Right.
But yeah, it was. It was something that wasn't promoted real big. Only a handful of people showed up, and it was right just where they were standing, where the
I
mirrors
remember
were
when I was
located.
watching a movie or a show or something, and this guy gets handed a book, David Copperfield, the book.
Yeah.
David Copperfield, which is about
Which is like not about
which
magic
is about,
at
which is
all.
about perseverance and like crime and punishment. Really, he reads the whole book, comes back and throws the fucking book down. He's like, "There was no magic in this fucking book at all." He's all, "You made me read, bitch."
You see, not impressive.
Yeah. The next one is the dolphin love.
Yes.
Oh,
Dolphin
God.
Love is the next one.
This actually hits on a really good subject.
It does.
Because Luann's being harassed because she looks good, and and halfway through the episode she tries to look frumpy, like
Yep.
Peg. She's like, so she
Grabs Peggy's clothes.
and he's like, and Hank is very progressive in the sense he's like,
Uh-huh.
it's not your fault. He's like, you need to report this. He's like, this is not good that these guys talk to you this way.
Yeah.
And that you're being touched and all this. And he's basically telling her, he's like, what we know nowadays.
Yeah.
That wasn't pushed a lot.
He knows it's not right.
But for 97, it was
Yeah, but-
extremely
yeah,
progressive,
especially-
especially coming from a
'Cause we're still dealing with
Texas
that
guy.
shit now.
yeah, from
fucking-
that character especially.
Like 20 years later, we're still dealing with that bullshit.
I know.
And but fucking Hank gets sexually assaulted by a dolphin.
Yeah,
and gets
accidentally
paid off.
arouses.
They
Yeah.
pay him off with robes and capers.
And fucking Peggy later on when he finally admits it to her, she's like, "Oh, I've had a dog hump my leg."
oh yeah, Peggy just still being the piece of shit she's just turned it into.
I love what Hank does in this episode, though. Hank
He witnesses the guys grabbing
yeah,
Luann's
he
ass.
grabs that motherfucker and throws him in a pool, and then gets like
Yeah, arouses the dolphin.
I keep thinking of like Stan from South Park, Red
Uh-huh.
Rocket. But no,
But Hank knows what it's like to get gawked at.
But he's not the only one, because remember he's telling them, he's telling the guys, and then fucking Bill's
Bill
like,
has the
it
same-
happened to me 4 years ago and 2 years ago. He's like, I got saved up the $150. I was gonna live it up. Then he gets sexually assaulted by a dolphin, and then he says it happened to him twice. It's like, why the fuck would you go back in a pool with a dolphin?
And they finally let the dolphin free because he can't quit humping people.
What's the dolphin's name?
You throw these fucking ones at me, and it's one of those where I could have fucking told you, but because you ask, I'm just like, ah.
I have no idea.
Because the dolphin handler calls it by a name a few times. It's a girl's name.
Yeah.
What is it? I forget.
Duke.
Oh, it was a girl's name. I mean, a guy's name. Duke.
Yeah.
It's like a big old dude's name.
I think LaGrunta is like they kind of hint at LaGrunta as like a cult.
Uh-huh.
Because when they go to the hunting episode, he's like, "Hi, I'm Beverly LaGrunta, no relation." And it's like, "Oh, this is a cult." It's kind of like Hank and Bill or Hank and Dale when they go to the cult episode. He's like,
Yes.
Are y'all the cult? No, we're a free thinking society. Yep, this is it. like puts the car park. This is it.
That's awesome.
I love this one, Escape from Party Island,
This
because Hank has to babysit a bunch of old fucking ladies.
And like the guys trying to make fun of him. He's like, look at Hank hanging out with a bunch of old ladies. Yeah, I'm a real pussy taking care of my mom, huh, guys? And they're just like, they feel bad now because
Well, when you put it that way.
And all of his mom's friends are just being total assholes to each other.
Yep.
But I love it because the old biddies.
Melinda can't handle the radio. It makes her sick. Betty White's like, that's fucking bullshit. Yep. He's like, just turn on the fucking radio. He turns on the radio.
But I love it because they're in Florida during spring break, and Hank is trying to.
They're in it's not Florida. It's not Corpus Christi. It's a place. It's the Gulf Coast of Texas.
Oh, Port Arkansas. That's what it is. They go to Port Arkansas to shop for
Well, they're at the beach.
glass miniatures.
Port Aransas.
Port Aransas, sorry.
Yeah. I do. It's like
I ain't no good at enunciations.
Well, it's Texas.
Arkansas's a stupid fucking name. It's Arkansas.
Well, it's Texas, so it's probably Port Aransas.
Yeah, Port Aransas.
But I love it because he cannot corral those old biddies during spring break, and they keep running off, and he's like, God damn it,
Well,
these
that's-
old
that's-
ladies need to stay in their house and quit running around with these fucking 18, 19-year-olds.
Well, that's what Hank realizes why his mom really likes miniatures.
Yeah.
And he buys her one. He buys her a replacement one of the unicorn. He buys her a little fucking.
Yeah,
he's like, this is Dallas International Airport carved in a walnut.
Yep. and he braves that shitty fucking
He popped
college.
off 4 tires and just jumped that motherfucker on a ferry.
Yeah, just to get that thing for his mama. And that goes to show this, like, he may not have much love for his dad, but he will do
loves his
anything
mama.
for his
Anything
mama.
for her. It's hilarious.
Even if you're a comedian,
Ever since the 9 Angry Men, yeah.
if you make your mama jokes, he'll get on you.
Oh, yeah.
You don't even know my mother.
And this is the one where something from season 1 came back to bite him on his narrow urethra. Well, actually, his shitty colon. Love hurts and so does art.
Yeah, this is the colon. He gets a X-ray.
He gets a random phone call asking about if he wants, if he
That's
needs any.
right.
We need to talk about this before he gets the phone call. Is that scene we watched all here? Because remember, you were on that episode. We watched it here. Fucking Hank is filling up. Funniest moment in King of the Hill is a random ass episode that happens in this, and he's filling up ice trays. He's got 2 ice trays in each hand, and he's like, and the phone rings. He's like, "Hey, Luann,"
Yeah,
Can you give me a hand? He's like, you put him in the freezer, Uncle Hank. And he just turns around and throws him back in the sink. He's like, God damn it. So I have
Just with the most
I have done that.
disgruntled, just
I have done that, trying to get, like, if I'm picking something up.
Yes.
And, like, I'm like, hey, can I get some help? And they just rattle off something stupid. I'm just like, fuck it, I'll do it my goddamn self.
But yeah, they call him asking
You know what?
Ask him like if he needed any guest lists or something for the art coming up, and he thought it was going to be a photo of him during his football days.
Yeah.
And so he shows up, but it winds up being an X-ray of his colon from when he was backed up in season 1.
Remember the B story to this?
Do what?
Remember the B-side story to this?
I don't offhand.
Bobby gets gout.
Oh, that
Yeah.
was the gout episode. Shit.
Bobby gets gout.
That was
the
almost.
big
Actually, the B side of the story actually is the main story.
I was gonna say
Because
that. Yeah.
And the whole reason Hank is able to get that picture taken down is because in Texas you can't defame beef.
Yeah. such a cool little loophole.
I love that episode because Bobby struggles at the very end to go get Connie.
Yeah.
And take her to the store. Mm-hmm. Or take what did I say?
To the prom.
To the prom. Some of this message just popped up. I'm like,
Isn't
motherfucker.
that the worst? When you're trying to say something and you're typing at the same time, or something pops up and you wind up reading exactly what you get.
Yeah, but
Chris has got to go to the store.
damn it. But anyway,
Yeah,
no,
to take her to the prom.
well, he takes her to the junior prom, blah blah, for the middle school prom, and
Because he keeps avoiding it
And
using his gout.
yeah, but he decides to stand up on his crutches,
Yeah.
on his fucked up foot, and dance with Connie to the song "Love Hurts."
Yes. And he's like, I don't need those
Fucking
crutches no more.
Fucking Nazareth.
Nazareth.
Oh, yeah, because you get that. He's just like crawling up the hill with the love hurts.
It's so good.
Ooh, love hurts.
Then he
How so
rolls
pretty.
down a hill.
Yep.
It's a really good episode, and then Hank takes that fucking picture down, and then puts the picture, and he's like, 1973 running back Hank Hill.
Yes. And after that was Dogdale Afternoon, and that's the one where Dale steals his
the dog.
mower.
That's right.
And like,
Fucking Bill called the cops. He's like Bill had a fucking, Bill thinks Dale had a mental breakdown, and he all right. So this is very Texan. So it's actually a really fucked up reference they used here. He's in a college area in a tower.
right. Oh,
With a gun.
yeah, you're right.
So
you know what? I did notice that parallel.
yeah. So they referencing the Texas Tower shooting
don't
that
think
happened in
I'm-
1962.
I don't think I'm familiar
what's
with
his
that.
name? Charles Whitman.
Yep.
Charles Whitman went
Oh.
nuts and shot a bunch of people in Texas from the Austin College Tower.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a crazy fucking thing that happened before Kennedy got shot. And
Yeah, so they kind of mimicked that with Dale up in that tower.
because
In a
Texas,
Texas
and
narrative,
it's
yeah.
Texas, and it's like, holy shit! Like, why are you doing this?
Giving us a little small history lesson in a way.
or like South Park's. It's like, hey, it's been enough time. We can make fun of it now.
Yeah.
It's been 10 years or 20 years or
the
whatever.
the rule of 23. If it's been 23 years since it happened, we can make fun of it. or like minutes or months or something like that. It's fucking weird. It's a scale of severity. Like
Yeah.
AIDS was funny 23 years later.
But that was funny because even then, King of the Hill was even kind of making some jabs at cops because the cops kept shooting at him, and Hank was like, "Fucking stop!"
Well, they tell the Hank goes up there and he's like, "Mr. Hill, I think you dropped something.
Yeah,
I think you
I
need to
know.
bend down to pick it up."
And he's like, "No, he's fine."
He's
Yeah,
like,
that was intense because like Hank is going up there,
And Dale- yeah.
telling Dale essentially, "I've gotten you out of so many fucking jams, Dale.
Yeah.
yeah, but fucking, oh my
See,
god,
it's like, I
Dale-
got your back, but stop."
All right, so this is a very Dale heavy episode.
Because Hank is like fucking photoshopping shit and
Well,
putting
it's got-
aliens in
yeah,
there.
Yeah, he put fucking Charles. What is his name? Not Charles Whitman.
And Peggy's
Lee Harvey-
helping.
He photoshopped Lee Harvey Oswald on his mower. The guy that killed Kennedy.
And he's like,
Yeah.
How did he get my mower?
remember this all started because Dale borrowed Hank's mower, drove it to the fucking fast food restaurant,
Like he's
and then-
fucking George Jones.
yeah, and just left it in some fucking defunct part of Arla, and he finds his mower, and there's no tires on it. It's on blocks. Yeah.
and then Dale just buys himself a brand new, super nice mower and is gloating it all over.
I love his speech when he pulls up. He's like, "Oh, that's Dale on a new bill.
Yeah.
That's Dale." And he was like, he's like, the Mason 3200 called the Redeemer at the mower show, at the Dallas Mower Show, codenamed the Redeemer. And he's like, he just loves it. He pops fucking John Redcorn in the ass with a BB gun.
Yeah.
He's like, I know why you're here, John Redcorn. Now get off my mower and go in there and heal my wife. And John Redcorn's like, he's really taking the fun out of this. It's like, dude, you're fucking the hottest girl in town. Just be happy.
And I like this one too, the Revenge of the Lutefisk.
Ooh, the Methodist reverend who came.
Yes.
She's a woman.
The guilt episode.
Well, the whole thing Hank was worried about was because their reverend would, and I grew up with this time, during this kind of shit. Like, oh, it's football season. Wrap it up. In an hour, football comes on. Okay.
Yeah, and the new woman pastor
is a Vikings fan.
Yeah.
Even she's like, oh yeah, I'm from Minnesota, so
even Hank says like some fucked up shit in it where he's like, I hope she knows how sports work. You know how women like to talk. I'm like, God damn, Hank.
It's like for all his good parts, he does still have a few of those moments of like,
Cotton's in this episode too, because
oh yeah,
a woman pastor.
He gets the fucking Gribble report. Dale keeps sending him the Gribble report.
And he's like the scapegoat for the church catching on fire because Bobby fucked up.
Well, he finds out Bobby did it. And he's like, yeah.
Well, because he was trying to hide the seat because at the food gathering.
Yeah, because Bobby ate all the lutefisk, and I don't know if you've ever had lutefisk. It's a very weird food.
It don't taste good.
It's whitefish in like. It's
like Swedish, right?
Yeah, it's like whitefish in a broth.
Yeah, in a weird fish broth.
Okay.
That's almost like a jelly.
It kind of coagulates.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Thickens.
Yeah.
And it's like jam, but it's clear.
But Bobby
fucking
loved it.
But yeah, he eats the whole damn thing.
And then
it smells terrible. He just spooted it in. He's like, oh my God, it smells so bad.
Makes himself sick, goes to the bathroom, and that's when Cotton's going like, oh man.
Yeah, because the next day
and all that sticky man smell.
Yeah, like that was like the whole thing too.
Bad smell.
Yeah, the man with the bad smell.
Yep.
Yeah, but Bobby wasn't burning it down because he's got the pack of matches. And he's trying to light it in the bathroom
from the Houston Gentleman Club.
Yes.
Yes.
Whew. Boy, you're blowing this up.
He's like, I'll take the fall
for the smelly man.
Yeah, and that was like a whole thing for the whole episode.
Mm-hmm.
But Bobby admits it at the end.
Yeah, he does, like a good boy.
Yeah.
Then we got
except for the part where he burnt a church down.
Then we got Death in Texas. It's where Peggy winds up tutoring the convict and winds up being a drug mule for the Boggle champion.
Not just that, he's a hardcore murderer too.
Again,
yeah.
His name was Glenn.
Yeah, and somehow is able to trick her into believing that he was an old student of
He's
hers.
like, bitch, he even tells her, he's like, bitch, I'm too old to be fucking one of your students.
Yeah.
He's like, I said
But
30
again,
fucking
that's just-
letters out.
That's just Peggy's ego getting out of control.
Yeah.
It's like,
Was it
but
her ego or her naivety?
Both,
both?
because she thinks she can help this man read.
'Cause
and it's like he knows how to read.
Because the entire time she's
just
kind of
wants
like
some cocaine.
because she's gloating to Hank too about. It's like, I molded this person's future, and he
yep.
wound up in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like she actually outsmarts him at the very end, and which was pretty well done. And it's not a very big episode. It's one of those episodes you kind of just fly through, but it's kind of funny because she sees him like gacking out because he did the last bit of cocaine that was in a fucking hourglass or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm a law-abiding citizen. This is a convicted felon. What evidence do you have? And he's like, but I just needed to, I was having a big meeting today, this, and I was like, so I did a few lines, but it's in this hourglass. He's like, and she's like, I don't see any cocaine in that hourglass. And he's like, you bitch, and he fucking lunges at her, and that's where Hank like knees him in the face.
Yep. Hank's like, nope, my mama and my wife and my kid, you don't fuck around.
Bow, right in the face.
And when it comes down to it, Luann. He doesn't show it a lot, but when it comes down to
a
it,
lot of people for Luann.
yeah.
But he loves her to a lesser extent.
Yeah. He'll let that ride a little longer, but then he'll
But if somebody
fucking
was
throw
to
the
do
hammer
something
down.
stupid, he'd
Like
fuck 'em
grab her ass.
Yeah.
You touch her, you're fucking dead shit. But then this is the Trampoline Buckley episode, Wings of the Dope.
Oh,
I
yeah.
cried river of tears
tears
for my baby. Why don't you?
And that's when they were leaving notes out there. Dear Buckley's Angel.
Yes. I was sorry I could not find a woman for Bill or a 1976 Trans Am motor for Boomhauer.
Yeah, because what was
Or
it?
the truth about some conspiracy for Dale.
Yeah. What was it? They were wanting to move the trampoline, redo the trampoline?
No, it was Con had bought it from Buckley's estate.
Yeah.
And he had put it in his side yard, and they looked over the fence and saw it was kind of like rotting away. Mm-hmm. And they talked Con into letting them fix it up.
Yeah.
They put it in Hank's yard, and he made out these really nice blueprints, which if you've ever done drafted, it's kind of a bitch.
Yeah.
To do by hand, because he did it by hand. He didn't use a computer.
Of course.
And makes out these perfect plans to redo a fucking trampoline.
Yeah.
And what was that song? Oh, fuck. There's a song that plays where Buckley's Angel shows up.
Away.
Yeah.
Whatever that song
That was
is.
like whatever like was some 90s
Well,
deal
see,
or whatever.
because that was
yeah.
well, because the trampoline thing was technically the B plot. The main plot was Luann constantly getting visions of him because she was trying to finish up beauty school.
Well, this is when she realizes she don't have to go to beauty school at the very end.
Yep.
I could be a regular college student.
Yep.
And that was really cool. Like I love that they brought that in there.
Yeah.
Because she's like, you thought I was a college student? He's like, why not? Bitch, like
Yeah.
you're a young woman, you know, 20
exactly.
something years old. Yeah, you can be a college student. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's when she decides to go to college and become a pre-education major.
Yeah.
Which kind of pisses Peggy off because she's like, I'm a pre-education major. Maybe I should be a substitute teacher, which is later on.
Yeah,
But it's hilarious.
and that's when you watch the show. It's that small animation. You just see Peggy's brow just furl.
kinda like-
every just a little bit. Just the you bitch.
When we get to season 4, I'm going to break down this one episode. It's going to be so long.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun. It's like you bitch.
Because that's my favorite episode where she brings that up.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Last two we've got before we get to wrap this one up. Take me out to the ball, or take me out of the ball game.
Yeah, this
rather.
is where. All right, so they get Houston Astros third baseman Kurt Bavacqua, who's like an all-time like.
I'll have to rewatch this one.
He's an all-star baseball player from back then, and it's funny because they actually get Kurt Bavacqua.
Right.
They got
Probably
Kurt
could.
Bavacqua.
At that time, you probably
like, he's
could
not an
easily.
actor. He's a fucking all-star baseball player. And Thatherton gets
Yes.
him because there's a fucked up rule saying because Dale Gribble ends up on the fucking Arlen team because it's a weird little thing. It's like, oh, you have to work for Arlen, you have to work for Strickland Propane, or be married or immediate family of.
Okay.
And so Hank does something that's kind of shitty. He pulls Peggy from her baseball team.
yeah,
And
okay.
because she was kicking ass.
because it's like we're in the playoffs, goddammit. He's
That's
like,
right, now I
he's like,
remember
come
this.
on, this is for a chance for you to throw against men. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you something about softball. I have a cousin that played softball to get to college.
Yeah.
I would not want the little girl to throw a ball at me. That is a goddamn fact.
That's still that's still coming
they
at
have
you
a
real
fucking
fast.
arm.
They do, and you know, that's one of those things where I think women can play the baseball. Like I think baseball could have. I know we're getting a little deep on this, but baseball can be man and a woman's sport.
Oh, yeah.
I think
Period.
so.
Yeah.
Football, maybe not.
Easily.
But like hockey,
Yeah.
maybe not. But baseball,
especially
yeah.
like as running, pitching.
Yeah.
I mean, women are fucking great.
Because baseball is all up was more mental than
I would see
athletic.
I would see fucking girls sling this in school, sling a softball down the middle, and they do that weird like underhand throw.
Yeah.
but it's a wind up.
but it looks like super accurate.
It is super accurate, and some actual baseball players, and men
Shortstops will do that every now and then.
they'll do what's called a submarine pitch.
Okay.
Well, they'll come at you, but they'll come at you from the side like this.
right.
Oh, I've seen those. Yeah.
So you got the classic over, which fucks up, destroys a shoulder.
Yeah.
But they have one where they just throw a fucking sidewinder like this.
Right.
And it's basically a softball pitch, but there's one guy.
That's about what they did. Like they throw those to like first baseman more than anything, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
But they'll throw it down the middle to save their arm, to save their shoulder from snapping.
Yeah, because
If you put more force in your elbow, and
They never taught us this when we were kids. When I was playing baseball, it was all just fucking shoulder throws.
Just throw it over the fucking. That's what I talked to like Cooper when he was up there.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, throw the goddamn ball. But he pulls her.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. And she starts doing good until Hank says something stupid to her because they have an argument after the game.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you disobeyed my order. She's like, well, if you coached at all, if you know how to coach, she's like, I had it done.
Yeah.
She pulled people in. And what pitchers do and coaches do in baseball, a pitcher can be like, all right, outfielders come in because they can control the ball better.
But they're not coaches; they're managers.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's coaches and managers now.
Oh, really?
And
I
team
didn't know
owners.
that. Yeah.
Like Bobby Cox of Atlanta, man. He was the coach. He was the coach, and that dude's got a statue. Evil little man.
Evil little man.
Well, but no,
And wasn't the wrap up? Did they win that one?
yes,
Yeah, that's what I
thanks to
thought.
Dale.
Yeah.
She throws one down the middle, and Kurt Bavakwa knocks that motherfucker a country mile, and here comes Dale smoking a cigarette in the outfield, and he's like, "Geek!" and fucking hauls after the fence, and he like
Catches it in his hat.
Yeah, and catches it in his hat.
Yep.
That's what Babe Ruth did, just like smoking cigarettes and just getting drunk in the outfield.
Yeah, but
Catching
he
balls.
was a pitcher too.
That's right. He was a pitcher. but
Babe Ruth, that fat drunk man. Yeah, that Churchill gene man.
They were all fat and drunk, dude.
Yeah.
Like there was like a whole quote I remember where from like back in the old timey baseball days, where it was like where they would say, "I'm not an athlete, I'm a baseball player."
Aren't you like fucking Arbuckles on there?
Yeah, exactly.
But no, it's a fucked up episode because he fucks with Peggy's head, and then it's when you get a little twinge of like, oh, she wanted to name Bobby something else. You remember
Yeah.
that? What did she
I
want to
forget
name
what
him?
it is too.
Oh my god,
I'm sure you know.
Robert.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, because she was all drunk.
You guys wouldn't last a minute with me and Ken.
I
Jesus
know.
Christ.
Well, I was gonna say I feel bad because we actually went over that one when she was doing her softball. So, no, actually, that was that episode when she got all drunk and shit, and
Yeah.
Luann had to pick her up. I wanted to name him Jeffrey.
And they go by the house. He's like, "There's my little Jeffrey. That's Bobby." She gets burps. But no, they win. They win the game. It's pretty good because he finally relents. He's like, "You're my wife, Peggy. You got this.
Yeah.
Strike this piece of shit out."
Yep. And that gives her the
Why do you call it a piece of shit? It's Kurt Bavakwa.
and that gives her the little extra kick in her shorts, and that gives her the little confidence boost to really knock it out.
And this is the last episode is a part 2 episode.
Yes, it is. And this was a good little build up for the season finale because last one we had the propane boom. This one was the parachuting and Dee Dee having her
Yeah,
kid.
well, this is all about Hank and Peggy aging.
Yep.
And this one
Yep.
they have their 20th wedding anniversary.
Yep.
They're it's getting stagnant from what
And this is where like me and Osborne were talking about this, how to build a timeline.
Yeah.
Their their junior year, Bill leaves school to go to Vietnam. Vietnam ends in 1973.
Okay.
So, assuming they all graduate in 1974, he marries Peggy 5 years later in 79. So, 1999, that's their 20th anniversary.
Right.
That would make Bobby, who's 13 years. He'd basically be born in 1986.
Right.
Yeah.
So he'd probably be our age, like
probably around our age.
closer to being Cap's age.
Yeah.
Now, which is hilarious because I think
Who?
Bobby.
If he was born in 96?
No, 86.
86.
Oh, 86.
It'd be
I thought you
close-
said 96. I was
remember
like, wait a minute.
Yeah, think about it. It took him a long time to get pregnant.
Yeah.
So he'd either be between like 86 or 89.
So they had Hank and Peggy had a nice little run.
They
of
had 10
being,
years. They had 10 years
of
together.
living by themselves.
Yep.
Bill like drops it. He's like, oh yeah, they've been together forever.
Apparently, I guess Bill and Peggy must have had a thing before he went to Vietnam.
Which makes it kind of weird because if that happened, if it took him 10 years to have a kid, that means Dale probably got married right a year before that. Because remember, Nancy starts getting her headaches not long, like a year in.
Right.
And Joseph is basically the same age, if not younger, of
I was
Bobby.
going to say, yeah.
Yep.
So like the dynamic is hilarious.
I know.
It
We
is.
could do a whole episode on that
The
timeline.
continuity of the show is weird because we're like 2 Christmases in.
Yeah.
Bobby had his 13th birthday in the first season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're starting to
And they
put
do
actual
slowly
numbers
age
with
them throughout
everything.
the
They do,
years.
especially in
but-
this season because remember, Luann doesn't have hair.
Yep.
And she slowly grows her hair back through the whole episode.
Yep.
She starts off like a little short shave, and then it's like a little ponytail in the back. Then it
Yeah.
finally grows back.
Right.
Which I wish they had done something else. But no, this all starts because Dee Dee's still pregnant. And,
Yep.
And Peggy can't get pregnant.
And Peggy wants to do something.
Yeah. She wants excitement.
Right.
It's excitement. So they decide to jump out of a perfectly good airplane.
Yeah, just to yeah, she won't admit it yet, but like the whole thing is that she wanted to jump out of the plane, like 'cause she didn't want to jump off the plane
Yeah, and Hank
at
calls
all.
her.
Yeah, and Hank's just like,
Dee Dee's having the baby.
When I just said, "Oh my God, Peggy, this is amazing."
Yeah.
it's amazing. It's like selling 100 propane tanks or
At
whatever
once.
at once.
Selling
This is the
selling
greatest
100
feeling
girls
ever.
at once.
And that didn't sell Peggy. It was, Peggy, great news. Dee Dee had the baby, and Peggy's like, "Give me my fucking parachute.
Yeah.
I will not be outdone by Dee Dee."
And
Yeah.
that wound up being the detriment because the ripcord didn't work and she landed face first in a.
A ripcord, not just a ripcord. Her
the backup.
emergency didn't fucking work either. And I will say this: there's a little. I have friends that have jumped out of airplanes as like that,
Yeah.
out of a spur of the moment thing. You don't just jump out of a fucking airplane your first go through. No, you're strapped to somebody who's done this like 1,000 times. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, why the fuck did they do that? But she landed in a mud field. So
Yeah, but
she broke almost all the bones, but
Yeah.
she landed in a mud field.
but the way they ended it, you didn't know what happened,
Yeah,
and
you
they
just-
left you on a.
Does anyone feel like they wish Peggy had died?
You know what's fucked up at the end of that episode though, where
Peggy
it cuts to the to be continued or whatever,
Yeah.
and then it cuts to the credits, and then there's like some Sheryl Crow bullshit version of Free Falling.
Yes, her falling.
While she's like following to her potential death.
Yep.
Keep
Well,
you
she's having a
hanging.
ball. She's having a ball before she pulls that fucking string.
And there's also, and we could talk about it in the next episode of Couch Potatoes, because that's kind of when it starts going. But I've heard theory of after that incident,
She has brain damage.
she has brain damage, and that's when she becomes
Yeah.
a lot more narcissistic and just
Shallow.
and kind of pointed with her
But that was
aggression.
already happening throughout the season beforehand.
But she gets a lot worse.
yeah.
Like
Especially because of the mental toll she goes through in the next episode, the first episode
like
of the
later
next season.
episodes,
I think she's
Hank
snapped.
points out to her. He's like, "Did you just compare me to Luann?" And he's like, and I think that was the closest Hank ever came to like hitting her. Did you just compare me to Luann? You stupid bitch.
No, I say like the turn was Dee Dee's having a baby.
Definitely.
Do you have like a favorite in this season?
Well, I was gonna say the last thing on this episode I really like was Bobby trying to drive Cotton's car.
Oh,
You know what? And she's like, and Dee Dee's like, use the. He has a fucking phone book. He said something.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't reach it.
oh, and this is
She's like, you gotta pull the, you have to pull the emergency brake. Oh God!
He pulls the trunk instead.
Yeah.
Shit goes flying.
This has one of my favorite Bobby moments too, where he's helping out with Dee Dee having the baby and everything too, and Cotton's kissing the baby. He's a super proud father, whatever, and Bobby just looks at Dee Dee and says, "I hope he treats that baby better than he treats you."
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, damn it.
And after that, I don't think he hangs out with Cotton anymore.
No.
He
Yeah.
hangs out with Gary.
Yeah.
Gary Kasner. Oh, Gary.
But yeah, favorite episode of the season,
Your Tribe of the Pacific.
Firefighting We Go is still definitely high up there. That is
All
just
right.
so.
I gotta
cool.
think of what my favorite episode is besides that one now.
Yeah, no. I let me kind of review those, but that's always my go-to. Like when I think of just all-time
mine
favorite,
is Nine Angry Men.
that is a close second. I also like the shoot. Let me go through here. Honestly,
they're all good. Like they're all pretty good.
to be honest, Escape from Party Island might be the last one to round out. I'll do a top three: Party Island, Firefighting, and Angry Men.
I like the ball game just because I'm a sports fan. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that one a lot, and I think the last episode, probably the last episode too, just because of moments like that.
That Bobby moment.
Yeah,
hold
with
on.
as old
What you
as
saying?
what's that one called? As Old as the Hills.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
part
one.
one.
Firefighting. We will go and
We skipped one, guys.
Did we?
Hank's cowboy movie. Number 19.
Oh shit, we did skip
Where,
that one.
where they go to Wichita Falls.
Yes.
well, look at Chris here with the emergency.
I know.
Well, like I looked at it, I'm like, oh no, we did not
so
talk
how did
about
we
that.
leave this one out?
Sorry,
It's a fun one because Hank and Bobby go to Wichita Falls,
Yes.
the home of the Cowboys training camp.
This button don't stick in Wichita Falls.
Yeah, it's like, everything works great in Wichita Falls. Fucking Arlen.
And yeah, that's when he starts getting hardcore, like anti-Arlen feelings.
But like this is a funny one because this has another John Redcorn funny moment because remember they're at the reptile. They're like so the whole premise is Hank wants to make a promo movie for Arlen.
Yes.
to bring
Yeah.
the Cowboys
Training
camp to Arlen.
Yep.
Now they begin to make a Arlen is Darlin type show.
Okay, this
And-
is on my list too.
Yeah, and there's a part in it where Peggy and Nancy get in this weird argument, and she won't come out of the van,
Yes.
the Bugabago, and they have to call John Redcorn,
Yep.
and he's like,
I have this.
Nancy has a headache. It'll be about 3 hours. I'm like, Jesus Christ. It's going to be a
She's gonna need about 3
fuck
hours.
fest. How does Bill or Dale not know that there's a
know.
fuck fest in his Bugabago?
You just see it just kind of like teetering.
Yeah. Yeah. And he comes out and she
Everything.
fixes, she's all good. I'm good, Chuck. Yeah. And
Fix it, kinda
She's like, but
plumps her hairs.
I am not touching that fucking mouse. And that's when they start, it's like the mouse gets loose and then Skinner starts
Yep.
playing.
Everybody's just, and it's like a Scooby-Doo episode where everybody's like, whoa!
Everything just goes to hell. Boomhauer is in a fucking armadillo
Yes.
costume. The rat gets eaten
Oh,
by
dang on, man.
the rat's head gets eaten by a fucking monkey, and they start chewing on Nancy's hair.
Yeah, then they wound up like making like a video. They make a version that looked really bad. Dale cut it together, I think.
Yeah, it's all shaky and shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's when was it Peggy that grabbed all the home movies?
I think so.
Peggy or Nancy or somebody had got
One of
all,
the girls.
Yeah, had got all the home movies from everyone, and they asked the video editor guy to mash something up.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's all like them together
throwing football in the field.
It's like, this is
barbecues and
our
stuff
lid.
like,
So it's still pretty
like,
sweet.
This is us. And he's like,
This is
Arlen.
us.
Yeah.
You know, this is Arlen, where championships are made.
Right.
Which is hilarious.
And they still didn't get it.
And no, he gets a rejection letter.
Yeah.
And Bobby's like, "What's that?" He's like, "Well, the Cowboys watched our video. They declined and sent us this little rubber football." And that's
Awesome!
yeah, and they start playing and they throw the ball in the yard.
Yep.
But I remember in the beginning of the episode, they go to Wichita Falls to the training camp, and they're the last ones there, and they find a ball, and he throws it to Bobby, and he catches it.
Oh, he doesn't even catch it.
He fucks it up. He fucks it up.
Bounces it off his stomach.
But they make those fuckers the Wichita Falls like propane place.
Yes.
He's like, I bet you guys are real proud to have the Dallas. He's like, I tell you what, you know what I love about this town? I'm 40 minutes away from Oklahoma. Go Sooners! Yeah.
Oh no, get away!
No, Sooner! And it's just like, oh god, that is so funny because those guys is like, all you fucking guys talking about are the fucking Cowboys. Go Sooners!
Yeah, and Hank's like plugging his ears, going, "Oh, the Cowboys! Let's go!"
Just that mentality of like,
he's singing
here's
the Cowboys song.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go Cowboys! Ooh!
That's like college. That's just the college team, the Sooners versus the NFL team.
Yeah, but still,
Cowboys.
Yeah, I can't believe we forgot to go through that one.
Oklahoma doesn't have a professional.
Yeah, that's all they got.
But you'd say that was in your favorites too, Cap?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I was thinking about I was thinking about when I was going through. I'm just like timeline wise. Something's wrong. I'm missing
Yeah,
something.
I don't know why I wound up skipping over that.
I think it's because Dogdale Afternoon is just such a good one.
It is.
Dogdale, it's so fucked up. Because remember when he tells the cops, he's like, if you take a shot at me, I want Bobby Hill to take the shot because he'll put me down clean.
Yes.
And that's such a callback to Bobby Hill being a sharpshooter.
And Bobby's just like, okay.
He reaches for a gun. He reaches for a fucking gun.
I know, just taking a gun out of a fucking SWAT team officer's fucking hands.
And Bill's the one who called the fucking cops to begin with.
Yeah.
He's like, remember, he's like
munching on a fucking hot dog.
Yeah. I remember, I came down to the campus, to play some pong with the fellas.
Bill just gets weirder and weirder as the series progresses.
Bill's a single guy, so he's gonna be doing some weird shit anyway.
Yeah.
A single ugly dude that just doesn't. That
that
tries so hard.
He kind of reminds me of a dumb version of Trevor from Grand Theft Auto 5.
I can see that. I actually can. Cap's like, I never played that
It's
game.
all right. He's a monster.
I was gonna say, I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about. I've seen some playthroughs.
Fuck, dude, he's fucking. Bill's a weird dude.
Especially on the is it season 4 where you see his family.
Season 4, yeah, season 4.
So we've already gone
That's where
through
it
1,
is.
2, and now 3. Do you think the seasons have progressively gotten better, or are they kind of
Seasons 3 and 4 are the best seasons, in
Okay.
my opinion. In my opinion,
Right.
And after that, it kind of there are some gym. Like I said when we started this, there are a lot of gyms
Right.
throughout. But this is where they hit that Texan mark.
They hit the mark? They
were already kind of like doing it, like even in the football episode where like football is God and shit
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like
Well,
Tom Landry is God in Texas,
seasons-
like
seasons-
Peyton Manning is in Tennessee.
Seasons 1 through 5, the first 5 years of King of the Hill are amazing.
Right.
And I just remembered this. He's like when he's in the tower, he's like, I have Shackelford. He tells people he
Yes.
has Shackelford hostage, and he's like, I just killed Shackelford. And he's like, oh god, he's killed one already. And they're like, no, that's his like fake bullshit. He's like, he's like, wait, Shackelford is fine and wants a pepperoni pizza. And he's like, this guy's like, no, let's just shoot this motherfucker.
Well, this has been another fantastic episode of Couch Potatoes reviewing King of the Hill Season 3. Up next will be Season 4, but you'll have to wait a little bit for that one. But until next time, this has been Alex.
I'm Rusty Shackelford.
Marie! Lenore! Lenore's dead.